This is the ultimate bench press tutorial with the strongest bench presser in the world. Hey guys, today I'm joined by Julius Maddox and we're going to give you the 6 points to perfecting your bench press technique. Take it away, Julius.
All right, right now we're going to start with the 4 points of contact. The 4 points of contact here on the bench press as performed is going to be your head, your back, your butt, and your feet. This assures us that we have proper leverage when it comes to the pressing movement. First off, we're going to start with the head. So the reasons for having your head placed on the bench is so that you don't misalign your spine. Misaligning your spine whenever you're bringing your head up off the bench can cause a greater distance for the bar to travel. And as we all know, having a greater distance for the bar to travel can result in a failed lift. The main reason why we don't want to bring our head up off the bench so that our chest doesn't cave in, which when our chest caves in, it creates a longer distance for the bar to travel, which we don't want because under load, that longer distance of travel can cause a failed lift. Point of contact number 2. Your back is a launch pad for a strong and stable foundation. Your back plays a key role as in your positioning for bench press. So we need to make sure, again, that our back is pressed against the bench. Point of contact number 3, your butt. It's obvious why our butt should be pressed on the bench, mainly because in competition, your butt lifting off the bench will not pass. Those are red lights. Point of contact number 4, your feet. Your feet are just as important as each one of these that I've explained. Again, when we're talking about bench press, it's all about having proper leverage. And as we know, foot placement can change, it can vary, just like your hand placement. So we can go narrow, we can go wide foot placement, we can go high up on our toes, we can go semi with our feet burly on the ground, or fully locked into the ground. As a world-class bench presser, understanding that my body is always changing, and I have to use my leverages for my advantage. So back then, my feet used to be flat. And by my feet being flat, when I got under load, my feet would slip out from underneath me. So this is why I feel like foot placement is very vital and brings me to this main key is making sure that our foot position is behind our knees. This is gonna assure us that we have proper leg drive. It's gonna help engage our quads, and it's gonna help limit our feet from slipping out from underneath us. The next thing we're going to talk about is hand placement. Where shall our hands be placed on the bar?
How we do this is to try your push-up and to see different positions to find what's the most comfortable.
So he's going to get into a push-up position. Usually a push-up position is a telltale sign of where our hand placement should be. Maybe an inch out, or a more narrow stance. A lot of this depends on body composition and where your leverages are as far as, are you tricep dominant or are you upper chest and shoulder dominant? And again, guys, the best way to find our hand placement, where our hands are gonna be placed on the bar, is not by gauging the rings, but by gauging where we are in a push-up position. And again, that could either be an inch out or an inch in. Now that we covered hand placement, let's talk about body position. As you see, Aaron is lined up with his feet, meaning his toes, are at the bottom, lined up against the bottom platform of the bench. We have to look at this like a spring. We're gonna load up the spring. So what Aaron is gonna do is he's gonna lock his feet into position and he's gonna drive himself down the bench, keeping his feet in position. Devin, a little more. A little more, right there. This is what we want. Ultimately, this body position is gonna give us a natural arch. See my hand through his back, and to assure that our feet are behind our knees. Also, as we talked about having a natural arch, by him cooling up, this also, we talked about posterior and anterior tightness, this also causes him to engage his quads. And engaging your quads is very key when it comes to bench pressing. From the start position to the rack position, we need to make sure that our quads are activated and engaged. Let's get more tightness in the core and quads. I shouldn't be able to move. Yes, this is what I want, where I shouldn't be able to move him easily, right? That's what we want when it comes to body position. As you've seen, we just covered body position. And as you've seen by Aaron getting into position for the bench press, this is gonna set him up to where he needs to line his eyes underneath the bar. So as we talk about coiling up, we wanna make sure before we start the bench press that your eyes are directly lined up beneath the bar. This is gonna assure us that as we come out of the rack and get into the pressing movement, press, that the bar doesn't hit the racks. So here's an example of what could possibly happen if your eyes aren't lined up beneath the bar. A lot of times this results in the bar coming up and having a chance to hit the racks as you're locking out the weight. Again, guys, we want to make sure that we are coiling up and our eyes are directly lined up beneath the bar.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna be talking about bar path. Now I'm gonna let Julius get under the bar. When the bar is in that set and launch position, it's not going to be a straight vertical up and down, but it's actually going to have a slight J curve to it. And the reason for that is because in his setup position, his lats are completely locked down. So in order to keep the lats activated and keep the elbows underneath the bar as he comes down, there's gonna be a little bit of a J bar path. It's not completely vertical. If it is completely vertical, it's going to be a little bit inefficient and those elbows are likely flaring out to the side. So the lats are locked in, the elbows stay underneath the bar. It's a little bit of a J, and the ascent is gonna look like the exact same thing. So it's gonna J on the way back up slightly. And the reason for that is if you think about a squat, the ascent should be an exact mimic of the descent. So same thing with bar path. We want our descent to mimic what we wanna see on the ascent. Also, on the way down, he's gonna be aiming to hit at his sternum. Some people will think that they'll try to hit too high incorrectly, which is gonna again throw off bar path. So you can see right here, he's hitting at about nipple line. This is way too high for the touching point of the bench. We wanna aim for about that sternum level. Also, you don't wanna hit too low into the lower ribs or stomach. So aim on your descent to try to hit right into the middle of your sternum. And that'll give you the most advantageous positioning to then power on the way back up. Another thing to point out on our bar path is elbow positioning. Now, if that bar comes too high up towards his upper chest on his contact point, often it shows that he's having an issue and the elbow's flaring out too high. So we want those elbows to be tucked in with the lat engagement, and instantly you can see just by doing that, his bar path came more towards his sternum and not too high. All right, guys, that's it for today's ultimate bench press tutorial video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions for Julius and I, let us know in the comment section below. And once you're done watching this video, go head on over to Julius's YouTube channel, Regular Strength. Did I get that correct?
Regular Strength, Julius Maddox, either one.
There you go. I'm gonna link it below. Go check it out, give him a subscribe, and yeah, be on the lookout for a lot more content from us, because we're here to help you fix your bench and help you find your true athletic potential.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.